Hello everyone, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. How are we all today? Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. Thank you everyone for your feedback on my recent joint reading with Dr. Victoria Skirbo. Thank you indeed for all those lovely comments. I know that she would have been tickled pink by the positivity of those comments. So thank you very much. Just a quick reminder of comments in general. If you're tempted to lace your comment with vitriol or sarcasm, it's just not going to stay there. I've had a couple of comments that I had to delete, or not more than a couple, but I've had some comments over the last, I don't know, little while. There's been an uptick in I don't know how you would call it, comments that clearly when the author is writing they're feeling very negative inside. I don't like that energy on my channel nor in my comments feed, so those comments are deleted, and likely if it's bad enough you'll be banned from commenting in the future. My channel, my rules. If you want to spread that kind of energy, go somewhere else. It's not welcome here. Okay, so we keep our vibration high on this channel, and we need to, because it is a very confusing time in the world. Just when we think we've got something, a line on something that resonates with our values and beliefs, something else comes along which challenges those values or that beliefs. We didn't expect this to happen. Something comes out of left field, and you know, we're a bit battered and bruised. On my Facebook page I posted an analysis of why we're feeling like this, and it is because we've had one thing after the next, and that's reflected in social media when people become disenchanted, become discontented, become unhappy, become triggered. The energies are very, very confusing at the moment. And sometimes we don't know which way is up or which way is down, or, you know, which is left or which is right. And I acknowledge that confusion. But I want to say that there is something we can do about that. We live in a confusing world. We live in confusing and often distressing times in the middle of a global pandemic, where freedoms are being challenged by lockdowns. You know, we don't know. We hear something about something and then we hear something else, and you know, we're pretty, you know, we can get pretty fragmented if we're gonna listen to everything. So there's a good way, a good antidote around that, and that is, and I've said it often on this channel, bring your focus back in. Bring your focus to your immediate surroundings. Set goals for yourself. Take the time to really cut the ties. And if they're apron strings, if you're relying on something, cut those ties. You shouldn't be relying on really anyone or anything at this time other than your close friends, your close family. Bring it right back in to your immediate environment, and set those personal goals for yourself. We've always got the power to do that, whether it's a fitness goal or a good mental health goal, whether it's a turn off social media goal, whether it's I'm going to react differently today, instead of throwing out the sarcasm, I'm going to do something different. Whatever it is that your goal is, set a goal. Set a goal that is different from perhaps, you know, something that you set a year ago. Challenge yourself. Don't allow others to determine your environment. That's the way to get certainty in a confusing world. Okay, sometimes I will resonate with your beliefs about something. Sometimes I will challenge those beliefs. Sometimes I will bring forward a prediction that is that causes you happiness. Sometimes I, unfortunately, will see something that is not easy for me to deliver. But by and large, I deliver whatever prediction that I'm doing from. I endeavour. That's my intention, to give you a prediction from a higher level. So, confusing, distressing times. Please, if you've got anger or hate in your heart, don't comment. Please don't comment. I don't need your comment on this channel bringing the energy down. Having said all that, let's take a look at whatever messages that Spirit might want to give us, because this is the, again, we look for the antidotes to literally the venom, and it is through spiritual engagement. It is through strengthening our spirituality. It is through connection with that higher upper world, higher vibration. And we look for that. That's where the magic will come. That's where the magic will be delivered. Okay. All right. Not in proving yourself right or proving someone else wrong. It will be in focusing in on your immediate environment and looking for the magic of life. And there's plenty to be found. Okay. What messages are there from Spirit? What messages do you have from Spirit? All right. We've got the Fountain. That's interesting. That's an interesting card here, because I'm using my the Fountain Tarot. It's one I particularly like as a budding artist. I love the shapes. I love the colours. I love the design of this deck. Nothing's concrete. Everything's flowing. And it follows the traditional tarot Rider-Waite type of construction in the deck, but it includes one extra card. And the Fountain is connection with Spirit. That's the meaning of this card. It is the divine Spirit. And it's interesting that we pulled that card. You'll see a kind of a darker environment, the shadow side of everything, and moving into this light. And you've got these beautiful crown chakra colours, third eye intuition colours coming through here. So we've got what brings us out of the darkness is our connection with Spirit, God, Buddha, whatever your faith or your belief is, it is connection with that brings us meaning in our lives. Judgment card. Yeah, this is very much a time of endings. Very much a time of endings. Very much a time when there is an inevitability about all of this, even though it's very confusing. I feel the thing that I'm certain of at a very deep level is that that things are ending and newness is coming through. This is the ending of a cycle. This is a make way for newness. And if we are tied to the old at whatever level, whether that's in your relationships or in your own patterns that you keep repeating, or if it's at the wider level of our political structures. This is Saturn. Saturn's the Uranus squaring Saturn influence that is causing, in a period of change, there's so much confusion. Saturn, old structures, the almost immovable structures that we've known. Sometimes, yes, those structures are absolutely necessary. But then Uranus comes along and challenges Saturn and says, this is the new. This is the evolution. And sometimes these structures, certain elements of these structures have to be broken down to make way for new growth and new ways of doing things, new ways of responding. And this Judgment card tells me that all of that has an inevitability about it. And this is beautiful. We've got the Star card. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of this. So we might be here at the moment with this, I don't know, shadow side of our, the Judgment card is very karmic. This can be a time where endings are coming forward. But the Star card is shining a light during the darkness. And if we see that here, if I put that Fountain card here, you see that the movement, the inevitability of change, of Uranus squaring off with Saturn, it's not going to go away. We might want to feel a little bit more comfortable, but it's not going anywhere. We're going to have to sit with this discomfort because there is an inevitability about what is happening here. And we've got keeping your intentions high, keeping your hope alive in what can be dark times of change, of disasters occurring, of pandemics occurring, of politics being so full of vitriol and volatility, of very much where we feel our freedom is being compromised, whatever that means to you. And then we have the Fountain card here. It's all part of choice. If you're looking for a linear answer or a linear trajectory, you're not going to get it. Right now, we're here. One more card. The Four of Wands, moving back into reunification, coming together at the community level, finding purpose again in a simpler form of life. This is what COVID is teaching us. Some people haven't lost that. All power to them. Some people are very focused on their their own environment, their community, their friendships, their families. That's never wavered. But for others, this is a real leveler, isn't it? Bringing us right back to what's important. And I have to say, I know I said one more card, but I've got the Tower card here. Absolutely, this is Uranus Saturn squaring Saturn. Uranus's job is to break down the structure, but this is coming in now. I picked it up as reversed, and I've got the Six of Cups, the past, challenging the past, and bringing forward that our higher selves. But the Tower came out as reversed, so we're moving through it. Every time you think that, that we're not, we are. Let's see what's on the bottom of the pack. We've got the World card, endings and beginnings. We have the Devil card, great toxicity, great transformation. The Devil card shows us what needs to be changed, and it's unpleasant. We don't like to look at it. And I've got the Five of Cups, loss and regret. And here we have Pluto in Capricorn, indeed moving away from this kind of energy, the King of Pentacles. Money at all costs. We're being encouraged to come back into a reunification with ourselves and with our communities. The moon will always challenge us, always challenge us. We've got a full moon coming up in Pisces. We've got Mars moving into Libra. Mars has moved into Libra, I think, today or yesterday. And there is a movement toward, even though we've got this, emotions here coming forward, coming at us really quickly, which is probably why I've got an uptick in nastiness, nasty comments. People want to vent. They want to get that out. They don't want it inside. Maybe, that's good too, but it's about sitting and thinking, sitting with that negativity and asking yourself, why am I feeling like that? What do I need to change within myself? What do I need to strengthen? What do I need to face to not feel like that? It's not about putting it on somebody else. So, how do we move toward happiness? We walk away from what no longer serves us. This has turned into a longer reading. I was going to read on other questions, but this is a reading in itself. It's a let's take stock reading. It's about turning away from what no longer serves us. You know, we do have to have a plan, and I was talking about setting those immediate goals for yourself. What are my goals? My goals are around my health and well-being, which is very important to me after a lifetime of neglecting it. I learned that lesson really, really strongly with a battle with cancer. It's about... that's one of my goals. Another one of my goals is once I finish lockdown, is to get out and do some really nice travel vlogs for this channel. So I have that kind of professional goal there, which will make me happy as a Sagittarius. We like to travel. We don't like our freedoms being clipped, our wings being clipped. And so incorporating more of that on this channel makes my heart sing. And it gives everybody a chance to see some of this beautiful country that I live in. We do have to have a goal and we do have to have plans. So health and well-being, personally, for me, is very important these days. That's why I have an e-bike. That's why I ride. What's your health and well-being goal? What's your mental health and well-being goal? Part of that, for me, is to take a little bit more time for myself and be less on tap for everybody else, and to go within a little bit and to look at what my discontent might be, to try and make sense out of the confusion. Whatever your goals are, set them. And the Queen of Swords says that. Have a plan. Stability will come from having a plan. From facing the truth, from doing the work, all of those things. The Ace of Wands, finding your inspiration again. I think out of everything, you know, we understand we're at a crossroads. We understand that we're at the ending of a cycle. But, you know, when you come to the end of something, you really do have to do the work to create something new. It doesn't just arrive miraculously, although there are miracles to be found in newness. But I think for a lot of us, finding the same motivations that put a fire underneath us in the past, it's like, well, we've seen so much, we've experienced so much negativity, so much distressing events, so much change. I don't have any motivation. That's what this card is saying. Why haven't I got that motivation is a question I know that you're asking yourself, and I know this has turned into a little bit of a session. But I think these questions are far more important to answer than any of our immediate concerns. I'll do that in another video. For this one though, I want to ask Spirit through this beautiful Fountain Tarot deck. How do we motivate ourselves again when we're feeling empty as a result of so much, I guess, distress, so much stress, whatever it is, whatever your situations are? How do we find motivation again? I'll be very interested in this answer. How do we find motivation again? What am I seeing here? That's interesting. So, the Hierophant connecting with Spirit. What is that person doing there? It looks like a guide opening up a box, and out of it is coming this orange type of light, which actually is our sacral chakra, the color that corresponds self-expression, confidence, what allows us to step forward creatively, I guess. This person is opening that box up, and out of that comes this orange light. And of course, the Hierophant is at its highest expression, is about following, climbing the steps toward to that which gives you, that brings in the light into our lives, brings in the spiritual connection. So I'm getting a kind of similar answer here, but let's keep going. Connecting with spirit is what will help us at this time. Finding the answers within, and I guess we are all part of the divine. So when we go within to find those answers, we are connecting with the divine. How do we restore? How do we become that which motivates us, drives us forward, fuels our passions, our inspirations? How do we become inspired during this time? $79 cards in this pack, and we pull the Fountain card again. Connecting with the divine. That's what this time is about. The Three of Cups, coming together, finding the inspiration around us, in our families, in our friendships. It's like we're kind of like needing to learn again. Learn how to live again. The King of Wands, stepping forward boldly, courageously. It's easy to go along with the stream of things. It's easy to capitulate to others. It's harder to maintain your uniqueness, your passion. It's harder to step out boldly and be a leader. That's what this card is saying. Be a leader. Say something in conversation that is different to what you've said before, and see what the reaction is. The Past card, the Three of Wands, I thought this might come up. So this is part of doing the work to move forward into something new. We've done a fair bit of that. We are doing a fair bit of that work because we are withstanding, moving through the inevitability of change. The Sky, the Ten of Coins. What's the potential here? What are we leaving? To me, this says, what are we leaving for tomorrow? Tomorrow's people? What are we leaving them? What kinds of structures are we leaving our children, our grandchildren? Understanding, I think at some deep level, that this is all about new starts. The Ace of Cups. Nurturing the emotions. Perhaps we weren't doing enough of that. Perhaps we'd gone so far away from that divinity or that emotion. The Ace of Cups is about love of ourselves, love for others. If there's one thing that this world, this era of social media has done, is it has stopped people communicating with one another. The Eight of Cups, turning away from what no longer works or no longer serves our highest good. To find that new emotional start. The Knight of Coins, the environment around us. I love this card. This knight is presenting us with a pentacle, a key to building this new structure through sustained effort, through doing the work, through turning away from what no longer serves us. To do that, we've got to be brave. We've got to be brave. We've got to be bold. We've got to not worry about what anybody thinks. We've got to be the leader, not just for ourselves, but for those around us. Queen of Swords in the hopes and fears. This is interesting. There's so much fear around at the moment. So much doom and gloom, which I'm feeling as well. Particularly in lockdown for us in Australia. It's so hard. We've been locked down for so long. Off and on throughout 2020, and no access to the vaccines at the beginning of the year. We had yada yada. You know the story. I tell it a lot on this channel. But we are tired of not being able to explore the future, if you know what I mean, if that makes sense, not having those goals and strategies for the future. So what's this teaching me? What's this reading saying to me? Set my goals, set the simple goals, and even in lockdown I'll find some freedom. Strength. It's like all of these cards and their meanings lead up to strength. Stepping forward bravely and boldly, finding our inner strength. The Three of Coins, coming together with others, listening to the bold, listening to the leaders, listening to those that I think, one of the big victims of this pandemic has been the arts, live theatre, exploration of those things that inspire us. There has been less opportunity for great films to be released. There's a dearth. It seemed like a wasteland of inspirational messages. And politics will not cut it. We weren't meant to be focused on politics and division all the time. So, as we move through this, we will get the great writers, we will get the great art, we will get the great film producers, theatre, musicians, songs, to make sense of all of this. It will come back. The inspiration will come back. Page of Cups, look in the box. Do something differently. Write something differently in your comments. Step outside of what you have been doing and be that leader. Be that leader. Temperance, moderation, healing. Sagittarius, moving forward through that higher thinking, that higher mind, higher ideals, searching, exploring into the future. Our inspiration, new starts, and the why, the big why, the Hierophant, connection with spirit. Connection with spirit can be elusive, can be some kind of esoteric concept. But we can see the divine in the writer's words. We can see the divine in our neighbour's gesture. We can see the divine in the helping hand or the love that someone extends to us. All of these things bring back our inspiration. So I had intended to do political readings today. No. This is the reading for today. Let me know what you think. Thank you for joining me.